This is Nomadic Addicts Outdoor Podcast.
Where the beer is cold
and the pistachios are hard. Let's tell our tales. Welcome back, everybody. We got Jordan Salone with us here today. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself and explain what he does and what he does for a living and how he enjoys the outdoors as much as we do.
Well, thanks, guys, for having me on.
Yeah,
My name's Jordan Salone. I'm 36 years old, and I got a serious problem with deer and turkey hunting. No, I've been hunting since I was a kid. I've been guiding since 2017. Just love it. Love turkey hunting. That's my number one thing, but I like deer hunting too. A little bit of waterfowl, but nothing better to be doing with your time.
No.
So is turkey, that's
That's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
I'd quit everything to turkey hunting for sure. Sure.
Jesus. Did you see them spurs he's got?
Yeah, those are some real damn hooks.
Wicked.
How long ago did you kill this bird?
I didn't. That's actually my daughter's first turkey.
No shit.
2 years ago. She
First one?
Yeah. She hit it out of the park. That was a 25-pound bird with 11-inch beard and 1.5 spurs. So, biggest turkey I've ever had my hands on.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
Her first one, it was pretty epic. 1-2 contest, and no, it was a great hunt. We didn't get one last year on the youth hunt, but that's hunting.
Yeah. Can't kill every time.
And you probably learn more from not killing than the easy kill. So
that's what we talked about.
We had a couple good days in the woods, and after it all, I said, well, if even though we didn't kill a turkey, I got a lot more time in the woods with her, so it was a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see Burlington Fish and Games bringing back the tournament, the youth tournament?
Yep.
This year.
Yeah, the MWTF I think is bringing it back. The Michael Main annual. Yep.
That'll be pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, he was a big hunt. He was in my class in Evanston. He was a big hunter. I think it's real good that they do that in his memory. But they had that for, I think, like 10 years before, because I know I brought youth, my nephew, my younger brother, when they got birds.
And they stopped it for a while, right?
Yeah.
I think it was during COVID, didn't they?
I think something to do with that. It kind of fizzled
COVID
out.
ruined everything.
But it's important to get the kid, make it fun for them.
A little competition like that's a lot.
Yeah, and it was always good. They give everybody a prize, just
and some
bring
of
a
the
bird.
prizes were pretty good shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They gave out shotguns a couple of years. But yeah, no, we need to get as many kids in the outdoors as possible, because it's a dying thing we're living in.
Yeah.
Maybe not right here locally, but as you guys know,
go
to any city, and it's like so far out of
nobody out here's ever even seen a tree.
That's right. That's right.
Crazy. But you brought all right. Talk about this a little bit.
That is a wing feather from a
seagull.
Snow goose. Vermont turkey.
Yeah.
Just one of his wing feathers. I've seen some all black ones before. I'm kind of embarrassed to say I didn't really even notice this feather until I took the bird on it and a knife to cut him up, and I said, "Wow, look at that wing feather."
Was it only one?
Just one. Yeah.
Oh no.
Just one. Yeah. 2-year-old Vermont gobbler.
I wonder what would make it do that.
I don't know.
There's some kind of pigmentation or something.
I think so. You see a lot of white in their tail feathers.
Yeah.
Up there in Vermont, you do?
Just everywhere I've hunted turkeys, I hear, like, you see it on YouTube. Wow, look at the white in his tail. I think like 75% of them around here seem to have the white barring and the feathers and the tail fan.
Yeah. So, and you travel for turkey hunting?
A little bit, yeah. I've 6 or 7 states. I'm not trying to get 49 or nothing. I'm just trying to kill more turkeys.
Yeah. Do you usually stick like to the Northeast, or?
I have. I killed one in Georgia a bunch of years back, but I pretty much stick to the Northeast. Just driving distance. And, yeah. No, what I love it.
What do you use for a turkey gun?
Well, I've got more than I need, but my main gun's a 16 gauge 870 that I got all turkeyed out. And I carry 20 gauges a lot, just as much as it's 16. I rarely hunt with a 12 gauge anymore, because it's just you don't need it with TSS. You're not really gaining anything except for 10 more pounds to carry around the woods.
That starts adding up.
How's the 410 TSS? That stuff pretty impressive?
I've got a 410. I bought one last year, but I'm kind of saving it for my son. He's got to shoot the first turkey with it, so I haven't messed with it. But,
that's what I got her one of them Stevens 301s.
Yep.
The turkey ones, 410. I bought 2 boxes of TSS, but they're so freaking expensive. I don't like. I'll shoot one at the target.
They are. But they do. They say, I mean, out to 40, maybe 50. I know the 410s are really finicky compared to like a 20 gauge when it comes to TSS. But the way I see it is like a 410 with TSS is like the 12 gauges we grew up with shooting lead, on paper. I haven't met, but soon.
I think I'm going to use Dad's 870 410 this year.
Oh, he's got a 410?
Yeah,
he's got a beautiful.
Yeah. It doesn't have a choke in it, but
it's just got a full barrel. You know what I mean?
That's usually good. Full's usually good enough to get you.
That'd be fine to shoot TSS out of, you'd think, don't you?
100%.
Yeah.
Fixed full work was fine.
Well, he brought us something. Might change your mind.
Yeah, pull that little gift baggie out there.
Come on.
Well, there's beef jerky.
Ooh, some snackage.
First guy to ever bring snacks. Hell yes.
Look at these. TSS loads. 20 gauge,
boy.
3 inch.
Did you load them?
Yeah.
No shit.
Most of them last night. I think one's from last year.
Oh, look at the little turkey sticker on them. That's pretty wicked.
So you load your own then?
Yeah, I got into that whole mess last year. I loaded 16, 12, and 20 now.
Are these all like same shot and everything, or?
You'll see. There's a couple 8x9 blends and a couple straight 8s. I'm kind of a fan of the straight 8s.
Okay.
They'll really crush. They'll crush them. The 8s will. But no, it's kind of a new sickness I started doing. I ran out of turkey stuff to buy, so I started making shells. And but it's cool. Like I'm all about turkeys and turkey hunting. So to me, like if somebody sends me a picture with a shell I made with a dead turkey or coyote, it makes my day. You know, it really
absolutely.
does.
Yeah. What are these in here? Are these for us?
Yeah, stickers. Just stickers from our business. You guys can do.
Hell yes.
Oh my god.
From the guide service.
So do you have your guide license and everything?
Yep, I've been guiding for 8-9 years now. All licensed through the state and everything.
How hard is that to get?
It's pretty easy.
Keeping up on it's easy, or
every 5 years you got to renew, but it's like CPR, first aid. It's really not that hard. And you got to have a clean record too. You can't have any game violations on there. They don't take well to that. But.
Turkey Ridge Guide Service, New York, West Winfield. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's pretty badass. Yeah. Them are sweet stickers.
Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
My old lady says, looks just like Dollar General.
Dollar General, yeah.
I said, it's supposed to be Waffle House.
I was thinking Waffle House.
Yeah.
Looks like Dollar General. That is pretty neat. Does she make these for you?
No. Actually, my one of the business partners had them made up. I'm not sure where he got them done up, but he's a big Waffle House guy. So
that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It is. They're like fucking thick.
Yeah, those are good stickers.
Yeah. I haven't even stuck them on anything yet. It's like
no.
I got to just hand them out, and hopefully people spread the word a little bit for us.
Yeah, I might have to reach out to him about making me some stickers. I want to sticker up my race car.
Oh, your race car?
Put Pinhoti wagon on it.
Pinhoti, yeah. Hey, I can get behind that. Pinhoti.
You know what that means?
Yes.
What?
Where the turkeys live.
Yeah, it's an old Indian word.
Yes.
I had to look it up.
That's what it does mean.
That's what. Yeah.
I thought it had something to do with like the scientific name for a turkey or something.
Oh, I think the Indians use like that's where the turkeys hung out. It's where they lived.
Oh, really?
They call it Pinhoti. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're going to live in my car.
Yeah, that's right.
That car's seen more turkeys in the back of it.
Has it? Yeah.
The only reason he bought it is because he got good gas miles to drive around.
Yeah.
I'd hop from town to town to town wherever I see birds.
That's what you have. It helps to have something good on gas for the whole operation.
Go in and get permission, and
because turkey season, I bet I would almost say you'd have to keep track of how many miles you drive around here for turkey season, and then how many miles we drive for deer season. I bet you turkey's close.
More.
I bet it'd be pretty close.
Even with our trip, I bet you turkey's probably close to more.
We have to keep track of that. That'd be pretty cool.
Just everyday deal of scouting around, and roosting. You're hunting all morning, and you're driving around all evening trying to find them. It's a lot. It really is. But I wouldn't trade it for the world.
No. And even like the month before season, you're always driving around looking to see where they're hanging out and everything.
Yep. Yeah, taking inventory.
Yep.
Around April, I'll start bombing around.
Mm-hmm. And that's everything.
That's the name
scouting,
of the game.
knowing what you got, where they are, which, as you know, in April that can change in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
yep. And them birds up here where you said they go to roost, I've seen them there 3 times.
Mm-hmm. They'll be there.
Right in the same spot.
They'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
But like before we could hunt there, or before we did hunt there, I guess, because you had permission there.
Mm-hmm.
But like we'd always stop there and roost, and they'd never gobble. because they were right there.
Yeah,
I would park down lower and then walk up the road a little bit because they would be able to see you park and hear you shut your door and everything
and just watch you.
Yep.
But there's not turkeys there every year. But if they're there, they're gonna be there.
They stick there. Yep. That's half of it too. Is just history, hunting spots. Generally where a longbeard likes to be, he's probably going to be there. There's going to be another one take a spot next spring, and so forth and so on.
Do you find it harder? Because like we kind of go into a lot of areas cold with deer hunting out of state. Is it harder to go in cold hunting turkeys out of state?
I wouldn't think so.
I don't think so, because you got turkeys generally leave a lot of sign, and they talk to you. It can be just because just for the fact you don't know the lay of the land and how they tend to use it. But
do you do a lot of private, like knock on door? Or?
Yep. I've had real good luck with that.
And with turkeys, people don't.
With turkeys, they're kind of happy. I think in a lot of the Northeast states, they're just happy to see you actually asking, because you technically don't have to in some of the states if it's not posted. So So I've met a lot of good people just from all walks of life, just knocking on doors and talking. Next thing you know, 2 hours later, they know somebody from New York. They went camping in Cooperstown. It's just just the small world factor.
Cooperstown's a big one. Like if you're ever out of state, throw out Cooperstown.
Oh yeah,
everybody knows somebody that's done something in Cooperstown.
Well, and where I definitely always throw out Cooperstown, because it's either that or Utica. I'll pick Cooperstown over Utica any day of the week.
Utica's on the news for the bad stuff.
It's a jungle up there.
Holy cow, unreal. But so you're not big into shed hunting either.
No, not at all. Not at all. I normally, me and my son, who's 6 now, we like this time of year when snow melts, I normally try to get him out and we'll take a couple walks. This is actually the first one he found. He was 3 years old, and just an awesome memory. The picture of him, and then on the way back home, there he is in the car seat sleeping, holding on to it. But starting him early, I don't want to push him into it at all, or hunting or anything. Just try to keep it fun for him. Same thing with my daughter. Don't force them to do it. Just let them do it at their own terms, and hopefully they take to it.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing with Hannah, and you can see her start to come around more and more and more now. And I look back on it, and I'm like, man, there was a lot of times like I wanted to be like, all right, come on, we're going, but I never pushed her. I would tell her like, hey, I'm going hunting. She's like, no, I'm all right. Okay. Or she would go sometimes, but now she's starting to ask more and want to be more involved with it.
Yep. Because I think we all grew up, what your parents, what was their big thing, what they push you to do. More times than not, has the opposite effect on the kids. You get off doing and that's why
they push you to do something makes you not want to do it.
Exactly, and that's why I think I'm so big into hunting too, is because none of my parents didn't, but my grandfathers and uncles did. So it was kind of, in my house, it was cool. Like it wasn't something I came home. I didn't come home and see a deer head every day. When I went to my grandparents, he had them all over the wall. So it was kind of like...
You didn't get a taste of it a lot, but you liked the taste of it.
That's right. It was kind of had an aura about it. But no, I started out hunting knee-high to a grasshopper. I would hunt with my grandfather. He took me out. He was just a kind of an old-school deer hunter. No such thing as a tree stand. And, it was still hunting and tracking and just covering a lot of ground mainly, but he took me out from when I'd go spend the weekend during deer season at my grandparents, and I think I was 7 or 8 my first time. And I remember tossing and turning on the couch, not being able to sleep. I was so excited to go. And looking back, well, I didn't know any better. What it really was freezing and going through, but long story short, he'd bring me with a toy gun, and he really taught me gun safety, which was, looking back, was really important. Started me from first year was a BB gun. I think the next year, first year was a toy gun. Second year I'd be carrying a BB gun, and then by the time I was 12, I could tote a 22 and terrorize the squirrels. But I just learned a lot hunting with him, and I got my first deer with him. I think 03 or something. Was just a little spike horn, but boy, it was cool. Most memorable deer, even to this day. It was special. Got it with his rifle, an old British 303, one that he had from, I think he was 12 when he got it. Like, just the stories and that go along with it. My grandfather was an awesome storyteller, so he was the type, he see a buck on his wall, he'd half hour later you'd know all about it, how much it weighed, where he shot it.
Tell my dad that.
but it sticks with it. You know, he passed away a few years ago, but like I remember all the stories with those deer, and it means a lot to me.
Yeah. Hold them near and dear to you.
Yeah. I do think I want to touch on that too, like you were talking about him bringing you up with gun safety. It's so much easier if kids are around it and you bring them into it when they're young, because if you take a kid who's been around guns their whole life and everything with hunting and all that, and teaching them little by little as they go, it's so much easier than bringing a 16-year-old in who's never been around a gun, never seen one. It's way easier doing it like that. Like everybody wants to bash guns and everything, but the best, it's practice. It's all, everything is.
They're a staple in my household, just like the same with you guys. My kids know about them, and it goes back to when your kids are I mean, they're 2-3 years old. What are you teaching them? You don't go on the road. You know, don't go in the river. The major dangers in life. When do you teach your kids about them? When they're very young.
That's a good point.
And of course I heard that from some podcast or something. But like, when do you start your kids teaching about the real dangers in life too? Well, you should start teaching about guns right then and there too, because it'll stick with them.
That's a really good point. I like that. What about what's this buck here you got?
This buck is he's just, as you guys know, it's just probably what I would call just like
your New York 150.
Yeah, the New York a typical Burlington buck. I mean, that's
absolutely
a deer I killed 2 seasons ago with muzzleloader. It's actually the first nice buck I ever killed in the late season with muzzleloader.
That's fun, isn't it?
I've never killed a buck with my muzzleloader.
I've shot a lot of doe with my muzzleloader, but I've only shot one buck late season with a muzzleloader. It's so cool.
It is. I normally like muzzleloader season's like freezer stacking season for me, so I've killed a lot. I usually stack up the does, but like that year it's like I also know it's a great time to kill these nice bucks. They're hunting, the pressure from regular season's over. They got to get on if it's cold and you got good cold weather. They got to get on that food program.
And that's like kind of like I found kind of like the turkey thing almost. It's hard to find deer. But if you can find deer, you're onto a lot of deer. They're like pocketed up.
You find them, cool. And that's hunting 101. It's like you find it goes deer, turkey, geese, whatever. You find one, you found them all. But you got to find one first. You go 2 days to find the one, and then it's like you have that aha moment. No, I got him December 17th, so that was like the last morning of the muzzleloader. Then it closes and turns into a holiday. So it was the last day of our muzzleloader season. And this deer came in about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Got him in the morning, late season?
Yep.
That's a badge of honor. Holy shit.
Yeah, I've got a spot where the property I hunt, a blind, and I've killed a lot of deer. I spend most of my time hunting out of it. It's right next to a creek bottom. It's kind of a cedar swamp. Just a great spot. But I had some does come through, or a doe and 2 fawns come through earlier, and my trigger finger was a little itchy that morning, but I said, I'm not going to shoot a buck if I shoot, these first does that walk by. And they came from right to left. And this buck, about an hour later, popped out from the left. And he's kind of coming right to me. It's like one of them things, like, oh, perfect. Get the trigger sticks out, get rested. Well, he's coming. I don't have a shot at him. He's coming straight at me. And, well, I get my gun set up on the sticks. And next thing you know, he hit those does track. I mean, it was like it was November 15th all over again. He hit those does tracks, and he head down, snow flying everywhere because he got his head down running, jogging. And I had to yell at him to stop him, just to get before he disappeared over the ridge. And
no kidding.
And I got one into him, and it was a good shot. He only made it like 80, 90 yards, and there he laid. I was tickled pink. But
did he bleed a lot?
Not really.
Muzzleloader. What is it with?
Well, I was using different bullets that year. Generally, with a good copper bullet, which I normally use, you always get 2 holes and they bleed good. I was using some different bullets this year, and you'd only get one pass through all the way. So I was a little, and as a guide, I track a lot of deer, and I went up there and fuck, excuse my language, but it's not looking good. There's only a little bit of blood, but he took right up. He reacted good to the shot. I was a little worried I got shot him because I only had like his head was behind a tree when I shot. But long story short, there wasn't much blood on the trail, but how he was running, like he was running through stuff. A healthy deer wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And it was like I went 50 yards further and seen the white belly, and I was happy with him. And I'll be happy to where we, this area in New York, I'd be happy to kill this
shoot
deer.
That deer
every year. And I'm gonna shoot him every year.
Yep.
I mean, maybe if you got something like that on camera and he's living there, maybe you'll pass this up. But at the end of the day, if you don't shoot this in our neck of the woods, everybody else is gonna.
Yeah. It's oh man, it'd be a cold day in hell to let that thing pass in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a nice deer.
And I don't know. He didn't. He was like 145. Like I would guess him to be 3.5 just by his horns, but he could be 2.5.
Yeah.
Did you score him or no?
No, I didn't score that deer. But I would guess it. To me, it's probably a 90-inch New York booner.
Yeah. He might tickle 100.
No, definitely.
You don't think so?
Not in 100 years. not any way you stretch the tape as much as I want him to. But score
solid buck though. Like seriously, in New York, there's not a lot of people that would pass that up ever.
I don't know any.
That's right. I mean,
that's a lot of people around here. That's their biggest buck.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. It's where I hunt is kind of cookie cutter, same genetics. That where I hunt seems like I've got one buck that was like 18.5 inches wide, but most of them are 14, 15. Yep. But they got seems like in this area, it's either they're tight and tall or they're wide and spindly and short.
Yeah. What do you notice? I wanted to start looking and keeping more track of like brow tines. Like
as far as what?
Like the genetics for the area, if that has anything to do with it. You know how like you just seen my wall. I got a pile of bucks at my house that their brow tines are just like that.
Just that short, the small. Yeah. And some of the deer I've killed at my spot, they've got the like they curl forward.
Yep.
A little bit more mass to them. I think it is genetic, but
because like that little one right there that your boy found, that's a wicked brow tine for a young buck like that.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
No, and that's like what do you age this deer at? It's either a really good
1-year-old or
probably
2-year-old.
Probably is. I would say it's probably 1.5. That's the type of deer you, in my opinion, if you leave him till 4.5, he might go 110, 115.
Yeah.
But score is just a number, and it's just that. You can't get too hung up on it.
Even your other shed there like that.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd ever pass that up either.
No. Me and my brother Carson, we stepped on this coming out of the turkey woods like 5 or 6 years ago. I was like, man, I don't deer hunt there, but I was like, man, that's pretty good genetics right there.
Yeah.
And where I hunt, I've never the spot I do most of my hunting, I've hunted for 20 years. Like I got a double beam, main beam 9-pointer there, but I've never even had a 10-point, like genetic code there is like against 10-pointers. I've never even had one on camera there. I mean, there's been deer in the area, big 10-pointers, but it's like, and that was my grandfather's thing. He had 2 or 3 nice 10-pointers over the years, and it was something that stuck out. You didn't make it till you got a 10-pointer.
Yeah. I wonder what that is for around here, like, because I only know like 3 10-pointers that have, ever since I was a little kid, that have been killed off this hill.
Off of this hill? Yeah. Same thing over here then.
Weird. I don't know what it is.
And is it age or is it genetics? Probably genetics.
I don't know.
I know, like, you get down into Texas, they, like these high, the high dollar place guide services you hunt. That's like that's the way to get a cheap hunt is you're hunting like a 148 because it's almost like a call. It's like a call buck, And I think they got it locked down there with their high fences and their feed regiment. They pump them. They can hold the deer pretty good down there. So
that one shoot we went to, that guy, he come walking out of the woods. He's like, "Hey, you want to see a set of 200-inch sheds?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." He pulled these freaking things, giant, but it was from Texas, and that's what he was saying. He's like, what they do down there for deer is like nothing you'd ever see before. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even the fair chase hunts you go on down there, I think most of the guides have a little notebook with shooter. That's
there's a price tag for that one.
That's it. I think a lot of you have to sit with a lot of the clients down there because make sure the right the wrong deer doesn't get shot.
Yeah, because they care about them like that down there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that kind of scares me about spreading my wings to hunt Midwest or some of these places. They've got a 140 minimum. I think I'm pretty good at judging deer, but man, I don't know if at the heat of the moment, I don't think I'm gonna be able to pass a 135 or
a 120
or acknowledge that he's 135 and not the minimum 140. But that's how those deer get that big out there. So I get why they. I think a lot of the places out there have outfitters. Like if you shoot under, you got to fine.
Yep.
So you really got to dot your I's and cross your T's before you pull the trigger out there.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. I don't know, the public land thing. I like doing that because you can do your own thing.
That's right.
I'm there to try to kill a 120-inch buck. Does it always work out? No.
That's right. But you did it yourself on your terms, and
so
you
it's
got
more
nobody
rewarding.
Oh yeah.
It's so rewarding for you to walk through the woods, find the sign, find the spot, hang your stand, and kill a buck out of it. That is so rewarding.
Yeah, and you guys seem to have a pretty good system down.
He had a hell of a year. Fucking ridiculous.
You would have.
I don't know how
if you hit something.
I want to ask you guys how much, like, your style when you hunt the Midwest, is it totally different than you hop into a piece of public around here? Or is it just modified from the New York version, or is it all the same?
I think it's different.
You think it's different? I think it's kind of the same, but like you're playing around here that usually doesn't work out. It works out there. Like,
it works. Yep.
We kind of use the same way we hunt around here, but now we're starting to kind of pick up a little bit more of like the fine tuning. Like, oh, okay, this is how they drop down off the ridge, or this is how they use the cedar points on there. Like it's the same for the most part, but now we're starting to be able to change it a little bit to get different results.
Like hard edges, watching hard edges, noticing hard edges, and what they mean to a deer, and where their bedding is, and where the wind's going, and
water out there too.
Yeah, water seems to be a real big thing out there. I don't know. I mean, it's obviously got to play a role here in New York, but it's kind of everywhere.
There's so much of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
just out there is just so incredible. Kind of like what he was saying is, what doesn't work here will there, because there's deer there. Like one 8-pointer comes through and blows a scrape out, and like I don't know, that's what'll be there, or there'll be a couple other smaller bucks, but like we find a scrape out there, and there's shit. What was there on that one scrape? Like probably 10 or 15 different bucks?
15 in 3 days.
Just insane. Like all shooter bucks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so they're like real community scrapes. They're still doing that in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Because I find in New York,
find them here very, very, very seldomly.
And the best hunters I know, they say it's like in this area, they say 20 years ago, there's community scrapes everywhere.
Yeah.
But fast forward till now, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
I even know 10, 15 years ago at my spot, there was a scrape every year, same spot. You'd put a camera on it, and holy shit, there's four shooters at my, that's back when I didn't know any better. But now to find that a community scrape, it's hard to find one.
It is.
It's really hard.
Off that Cedar Point, there was scrape here, and a scrape here, and just everything was rubbed all to hell.
Yeah.
And we just sat there and played the wind, and it worked out for us.
2 days in a row, yeah.
Yep.
You guys find the deer, like Midwestern deer, are more tolerant, or do they just of human, or is it the same? Or is it the same deer?
They're a little bit more tolerant of it, I think.
A lot more, I would say.
Yeah. I hunted Maryland a couple years ago. Well, probably 5-6 years ago, a guided deal. But that's one thing I definitely noticed is, I mean, I'm not calling them dumb, not taking anything away from them, but they're just more tolerant.
Yeah, they put up with it a little bit more.
That's right.
But, see, what I think, too, is out there, a lot of the locals hunt, too. So they know what's there. They're out for the bigger ones. So I think they're 2.5-year-olds out there, and maybe sometimes even their 3.5-year-old bucks aren't even getting hunted.
Yep.
So they're a little bit more like a spike horn around here. They're not, if you put a spike horn out here and nobody's going to kill him, he's going to run around like an idiot all the time. He doesn't care. So out there, I think some of their 2.5, 3.5-year-old bucks are a little bit more tolerant just because they're not getting the pressure. They're not like getting shot at 15 times in a season,
Like we kill good, respectable bucks.
Yeah.
But like, do you think that we don't break that curve of like 130, 140.
That's what I was just
because of we don't hunt where we see more people necessarily. If you hunt where the locals are, that they ain't no idiots. They're hunting there for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like we were saying, we don't really see that much pressure. So do you think if we followed the local pressure around a little bit, we'd get into that bigger caliber?
I don't know. Or then you get into like the locals around here that are hunting 20 yards off the side of the road, like Jebediah and all them.
Jeb and the boys,
the Oders.
Yeah.
Amen to them.
I don't know. But like I feel like we've had a good couple of years. We've gotten it in. We've gotten it out of our system now. Now maybe we can start to fine tune and try to get something a little bit better. Like our access, I usually pay attention to, but my exit, I really don't care because usually I'm never coming back to there.
You're not going back.
We're usually in and out. That's how it is. But
give a spot morning sitting and afternoon sitting. If it ain't panning out for you, keep moving.
That's right. Yep. Keep
be mobile.
Yep. I think even like I get in the bow hunting years, like it's like you're beating a dead horse. It's like I'm probably doing this to myself because I keep going back to my the old faithful stands. It's like, man, if I just got out and hunted the climber some and some other spots, I might see a whole different thing. But
that does work. My dad is a living freaking thing that he will hunt the same tree every day, but it works. He kills decent bucks every year with it. Like, I mean, it's just weird to me now. We've hunted strictly mobile the past like 4 years now. Probably I have.
And we totally hunted saddles this year. We didn't even use our lone wolves this year.
But it's
your platform's lone wolf, but
it's weird to go. It's almost weird now to think like, okay, I'm going to go to a tree and just hope that this buck's going to come up. It's weird. It's hard to think about.
How was the transition like? So you guys are all saddles now. You guys don't no hang-ons or nothing.
I got my hang-on still.
I got my hang-on, but I don't even.
I use mine a lot around here. Saddles I use more out there.
Yeah, just for the mobile setup.
Yeah.
I don't even use my lone wolf around here.
I do.
I just have it.
Yeah, and you guys use
it's something you can't get rid of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you spend that much money on it, you're attached to it. I've killed deer out of it, so I don't want to get rid of it.
Kind of like the Summit Climber. You guys probably got them too.
Oh, yeah. We got those 3 of them in the garage.
Yeah.
That and someday, like when we get a studio or something, it'd be nice to like hang like
all
old
our
stands
stuff
or something. It'd be. Well, we're getting there.
I would say any deer hunter in our area, they probably got one in the garage. A Summit,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of a right. I mean, that was the only mobile hunting for the longest time.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to hang on and carry sticks and all that.
And then you're looking for an ash tree in the middle.
That's it. It.
That's the only negative thing with a climber, like we've preached before, is like you can go into a spot that is going to be good, but then you have to hunt for a tree too,
Hunting that tree.
With a saddle, you can just, right here's where I need to be. You can get right there. Just the versatility of it.
As shitty as it can be sometimes. Like we set up in an autumn olive in South Dakota, and there wasn't 3 inches that were straight on that tree at all. And then we did it in the dark. We get up there, and he looks at his tether.
I still got a Snapchat of that.
He's like, this branch is dead. There was no.
It was literally every time the wind would blow, it'd get farther and farther out. I'm like, we should probably get out of here.
It was a good tree though, good spot. But I don't.
That was the day. Was that the day you got mad or no?
No, that was an rattled in that fucking
9-pointer. Yeah.
And rattled him in. Coming looking for a fight, did he?
In Illinois, he got mad setting this platform up and everything. He went up, put everything up, got up there. I went up, put my platform up, and I'm sitting there, and I didn't say a word to him because I knew he was pissed. And he goes, "All right, I'm sorry." Like, what?
No, that was South Dakota. It was in that big tree that shitty tree that giant came walking.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was pissed. But you do that. People got to understand. We're doing that every single day for a month and a half. Like,
you wear on each other.
It gets heated.
Oh, yeah. No, it can get, especially I can imagine with brothers, too.
Yeah. Well, and like around here, okay, you go out and hang a couple stands in the summertime because, your usual stuff.
Yep.
We're literally hanging a set and taking it down every day.
Yeah.
It just shit. Fucking, and all it takes is a branch to come over and whack you in the face or something, and then I want to throw him out of the tree for absolutely no fucking reason. You know, it's
well,
isn't it crazy?
It's easier to blame the guy next to you. It always is, and I do it all the time too.
But like to me, it's crazy because like I'll get mad at him. I don't know if I'd really get mad at if you bring your buddy hunting or whatever. Like, would you get mad at your brother? opposed to somebody that you're bringing hunting?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I guess
100%.
I don't know. Maybe
yeah.
you just have higher standards for you know what I mean.
Oh, you do.
You feel more comfortable yelling at them is what it is.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. You ain't worried about hurting their feelings as much.
You know? You bring a little 15-year-old kid there that won't stop moving and there's birds coming into the decoy. You want to yell at him.
That's right. Hold still. Just hold.
Yep.
Hold.
Oh man. Talk about this thing though.
Yeah, that's
shit.
Yeah, I lucked into him open day of bow season this year. Biggest deer I've ever killed.
And you already got him back?
Yep.
Holy shit.
Couple weeks ago.
Do you want to shout out who did the
Palmer's Taxidermy, Westmoreland.
No shit.
Definitely he did it quick. I think obvious I got it
first
early bow
season,
and that helped it get out the door quicker. But
that's what that
it's
one
beautiful.
taxidermist told you. If you want to get a buck right back, shoot it the first week of bow season.
That's what he said. Everybody complains, but kill him early, you'll get it back early.
And I've heard that before. And I've always kind of cursed the early, like since they changed bow season till October 1st.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of it. October 15th, around there. But I've always said if you can get one on a pattern, he's about dead. And this deer was on a pattern, and opening day, I didn't hunt the morning, hunted the afternoon, slept in at like 1:30, got in there. That's kind of early for me for an afternoon.
It's a long day, yeah.
It was warm, windy, sitting there swatting mosquitoes. 3:40, I heard something coming, but sounded like a deer running behind me. Like nothing happened all, from 1:30 when I got in, other than geese flying in and out of the quarry. But about 3:40, and I knew it. About 3:30, I said it's going to be game time here soon. If these deer are going to move, it's going to be before dark. And I actually took a page from my old boss's book, and he always told our clients, "Oh, you should have your bow on your lap at all times." And I said, "Well, let's see how this bow fits here on my lap." And it wasn't 5 minutes later, I heard a deer behind me, and I turned, and it was one of them. Oh shit! There's a monster buck at 15 yards.
Yeah.
He was like 4 o'clock, kind of over my right shoulder. And
you left-handed or right-handed?
I shoot left-handed.
Okay.
I've always shot left-handed. Left eye dominant. I'm right-handed.
Gotcha.
But anyways, he came in behind me, and I was like, "Holy shit!" You're pinned down. He's 15 yards. He's got his head up, sniffing around, and the first thing that comes to my mind, I said, "Shit, he's right on the trail I walked in on. He's about to go bust out of here." Yeah. But I had the wind. And he just kind of continued up that trail, and long enough to get my bow up, and I honestly don't think there would have been enough time for me to grab my bow off the tree without him seeing me at 15 yards anyways, and just picked the bow up and got to full draw. He headed down the trail. He was quartering away from me really hard. Got through my peep sight, and through the peep sight I had the 20-yard pin buried on him, but there was a lot. Being October 1st, there was a lot of brush, goldenrod in those woods.
Yeah.
And I just threw my peep sight, and it's about as windy that day as it is now. And I just see that goldenrod going back and forth, and I hesitated to shoot because I didn't want to deflect or something. Yeah. But luckily, something in my head just said, "Send it."
Pull that trigger.
15, 20 yards, send it, and that's the best thing I could have done because I shot. He disappeared for 20 yards to the down tree and came back out, and I seen the arrow hanging, good bit of arrow hanging out of him
on the. In where it went in?
Yeah, where it went in. At first, I was like, "Oh shit!" I didn't get very good penetration, but it was working its way back out.
Oh yeah.
He ran 70 yards, and I seen him lose the arrow and went into the cedars, and that was the last I had seen of him. But I knew I hit him good.
Yeah,
I knew I hit him good. It was next thing you know, you're texting everybody who's doing the same thing my brother and my buddies. They're all in the. There is blood. I text my brother. There is blood. He said, "What? No way." I said, "I wouldn't believe it either." 3:40 in the afternoon. And then it became, well, let's get the whole family over here. I gave it a half hour, got down, tracked him out. He was only probably 30 yards from where he'd lost the arrow.
Oh, land?
Yeah, where I found the arrow, looking for more blood, and there's a white belly over there. I said perfect.
This your biggest buck to date?
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. And to do it with a bow, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, and I've been bow hunting for 20 years. And like everybody else, I kind of pride myself being a bow hunter and putting the time in and doing, trying to do the right thing. But
one thing you said about like that buck even that I liked was he reacted good to it. Like that's very important. I feel like people need to I know it's hard in the heat of the moment, but the more takeaway you can get from a deer's reaction and when you shoot him,
exactly,
and when he's running away and everything, it will do a lot for you.
Oh yeah, yep. It paints a picture. I always ask clients, well, how did they react? Ran 9 times out of 10. Well, he just ran away. But sometimes, and also, he fell down and was down kicking for 2 minutes and got up and took off. Well.
And I didn't shoot him again.
We're proud, yeah. Yeah, that too. Well, we'll see what we can do, but you're probably not going to find that deer. Yeah. That's usually like a brisket or, shot Stunned to the spine.
Yeah.
But the cool part about the recovery with him was 3:40 in the afternoon, got on the horn with my family, and I gave the wife coordinates and sent her over with my 2 kids. And they got to come recover it with me.
In the daylight, that's badass.
Yeah, in the daylight, not trudging through the snow or freezing cold like when I normally killed deer. But it was just
that's really cool.
That was the best part about it, was the recovery, having my son there, my daughter there.
Absolutely. Did you wait for them to go up to it, or did you?
Well, I didn't. I tracked it out first, just to be safe. And they had open house at school that night, so it was like we were on a time crunch. So I even got out of the tree a little early. It was like all for open house, but I wanted the kids, because they went over in the summertime. I told them we were going to get ice cream, but we were going to get ice cream and go try to see him in Velvet. And we went out there, I think it was July. Get out there, there's a couple of deer out in the field. Shit, I brought you guys all the way out here for nothing. Got my binoculars up, and he was laying in the field. I mean, he was bedded down in the field.
No shit.
And they got to, he ended up getting up, and just they got to see him in Velvet.
Paint a story for him.
Yeah. And they got to see plenty of trail cam photos of him too.
He must have looked giant. Like, he's a big deer, but he must have looked giant in Velvet.
Yeah, he did. And it's almost kind of, you guys know, it's almost like you want him to get hard horn, but when they get hard horn, it's like, man, he just shrunk. But he really didn't shrink too much.
That's crazy. And the way his beams wrap around and like his crab claws at the end almost tip forward, that's
He's looking at him from down here, seeing this swoop. It's just that's cool.
The threes even going forward. He's a sweet buck. Double kickers off the G2s.
Yeah,
it's wicked.
Yeah, no, he's got a lot of character and just a nice, nice deer, kind of a deer of a lifetime around here.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with Bo, I
don't like saying that because I have hope for everybody. To get a bigger one, but it'll be hard to beat.
They're just few and far in between. I mean, I'd be more than happy to shoot this every year with Bo. But sometimes them big ones, you get lucky and you got one. I think that's half the 3/4 of the key to killing a big buck. You got to have one to kill.
Oh, absolutely. Did you weigh him or?
Yeah, he was 194.
No shit. Gutted, right? Or
yep. 194 gutted.
That's big deer. Well, early season before rut and everything too. It was like beef cow.
Yep. And I dragging him. I mean, obviously I knew he was a big deer, but I didn't think he was 180. But the jet sled helps take some weight on him.
That's my goal. Is what I'm getting this year is a freaking jet sled. Best way to get deer out.
Oh yeah, and I've drug them 100 ways. There's all sorts of drag. I mean, 4-wheeler is easiest, but jet sled's the best. The best. And my son got to feel how fun it is to drag one.
You put him on a little bit.
Oh yeah. Let him do some dragging.
There you go.
I think it was his first. He still talks about me gutting the deer because I guess he's never seen me gut a deer, which for me is just part of another day in the life. But just to see they're gonna remember that forever.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not just because it's a huge 10-point. I'm just having the kids there with me and the family. I've drug them through this stuff their whole life, so it's nice to celebrate with them. And
absolutely. How old do you think he was? Or do you have any idea?
It's as old as he's going to get.
Yeah, no more birthdays.
No, but honestly, he was really big the year before.
You had history with him too?
I didn't, but we knew of him, and he was probably in the 120s the year before. So, which tells me, I'm no deer agent extraordinaire by any means, but he's probably 5 or 6.5.
Yeah. What do you think he scored now?
He's definitely Pope and Young.
Yeah, he's definitely over 120.
Oh yeah. I'm not a big numbers guy. He's as big as he's gonna get.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think kind of the whole the numbers game kind of
takes away from
it, especially in our area.
Yeah.
It's not all about the inches.
It's I like
all
it
about
as
the experience,
as a medium, like, because it's a way to understand how big they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people use it for like, oh, well, I shot at 140. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's a measuring contest for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's just a deer with really big antlers.
That's yeah. What broadhead do you shoot?
I actually used some new ones this year. I'm a diehard mechanical guy. I've never shot a deer with a fixed blade. I've always used mechanicals, but this year I switched, and I'm generally a three blade guy, but this year Sever 2.0 with a titanium.
Yep.
And that it poked out. It went through it poked out the opposite shoulder.
Yeah. I've heard really good things about them. Yeah.
It's everything a Rage wanted to be when it was.
Yeah. And you
when it was hatched out of an egg.
You could buy them in a single pack, right? If you want.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think the company. That's why I don't think you can get them at the stores. I think you actually got to buy them from the company. They've kind of cut out the middleman, which I kind of respect too.
Yeah.
But they're a titanium body, which is a lot better than aluminum ferrule on any broadhead. That titanium, and it holds up better too.
Good. Hell yeah.
2-inch 2-blade.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
Is it rear to point or?
Yeah. Yep.
It is.
It's very similar to a Rage, but they kind of lock open.
Yeah. Do they pivot?
They do.
Yeah.
They do pivot, so that's what makes them legal.
New York legal. Yeah.
So I was kind of I called them. I said, before I started hunting with them, there's nothing cut and dry as far as legality. Oh yeah, no, we're New York legal. And, which I think that's an old antiquated law that needs to be changed.
Yeah, they might need to do something about that.
Because as a guide, I'll tell you what, a big cut mechanical is probably more humane.
Your most ethical thing.
You got a better chance of finding that deer than you do with the Muzzy.
Yeah, especially if you could hand broadheads to all your clients, you don't know how they shoot. You don't know how they could have just picked the bow up for the first time that year, and going.
We get a lot of new guys too, which is cool. The party is geez, but at the other, we all started somewhere, and that's why they're here to learn from guys who live this life. That's the cool part about guiding too, is get to see. I mean, I get to do autopsies of every deer that gets killed. So from swackers to Rages to Muzzies to what's the other Slick Trick? They're pretty popular.
Do you see a lot of people come in with fixed blades? Now, more and more now.
We're seeing they're kind of. We're seeing in the last couple of years more fixed blade, more heavy setup. A couple guys like the iron wills.
Yep.
And they kill just fine, and you're going to make it through the shoulder better. But if you shoot them, if you shoot them back, you got a lot better chance of finding it with a big cut mechanical than you do some iron will that's going to penetrate through 4 deer standing next to each other.
I don't know.
I was a big mechanical guy. I shot those Exodus this year, and I was really impressed with them.
The Exodus,
they were
QAD
makes my buck with those.
Yep. You get them from the guy in Morris.
Yep. The bow shop, Ron. Yep.
And they held up good and everything. Any broken blades?
I shot both my bucks with the same broadhead.
Shot them
with the same one.
Yeah, same broadhead, same arrow.
You could probably shoot a deer with it this year. It's
really
unreal.
Yeah.
The blood trail that they had, ridiculous. Good shot placement.
Yeah.
Too, but 1-1. The other one.
Yeah, the other one, I don't know what really happened. I don't know if it hit that femoral.
You hit the femoral artery. That's why it died.
It did.
Yeah.
I mean, I hit it back here,
but there's a double edged sword of that too. You probably had a better chance of killing that deer because you're using fixed, because you get more penetration through that backhand. So it's kind of but generally, I'm a percentages guy, and you got a lot better chance of hitting them through the guts or through back on a deer than you do a front shoulder.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand. Hybrids, I think, need to be a bigger thing. Evolution has the hybrids that not new. I don't think they're new, but I was looking at them the other day. They look pretty wicked. The only thing is, I wish they were rear deploying. You lose so much energy and cut with the front deploying ones.
Yeah, the over the top style.
Yeah,
over the top.
Because I shoot Grim Reapers, and the entrance holes like that. But I mean, you make it through the other side. It's like you threw a baseball through them.
I've killed probably most of my deer. My first 10 years, I was a Grim Reaper.
Yep.
That's all I used. From and every single head they had, other than the fixed blades, but from whitetail specials to the 1 3/8 to the 1 3/4 to the Carn 4. I kill a lot of deer with them.
Yep.
A lot of deer.
And they're good. I haven't ever had one run really far with them. Like they're wicked.
Oh yeah, no, they are. I've had some. I had a lot of dead deer, so you can't complain. But especially on the whitetail special, the big one, I had a lot of blades break.
That's what I.
A lot of blades.
Oh
break.
yeah.
Have you seen that a lot too, Tanner?
No, not breaking, but just a lot of chattering, and like you could run your finger down. You're not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll be bent like a mother.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the type of guy. I don't care about reusing broad. I'll go buy another 3-pack. Like I don't.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I have their blade retention and durability. I guess is not
isn't great.
Good. But I mean, you get a blade that long hanging out there, and it's it's not a lot hanging on there. But,
That's right. That's right. That's right. How about you, Nathan? What you've used a lot of mechanicals before this year, then? Or?
I was a broadhead whore for a while.
He'd have 7 different ones in his quiver.
I'd always have, I had a 4 or 5 pack quiver, and I'd have a different broadhead in every one.
Yeah.
Schwacker, Rage, Grim Reaper, Muzzy. What the hell was that?
What was that other one you shot there for? I can't think of it now.
Nap. I shot Nap.
Yep.
The NAP.
Yeah.
The kill zones.
Yep.
They're like
and they're a good broadhead too.
They are. There's
a lot of good broadheads out
there.
there.
They are. There is. You really can't go wrong with.
There was one more Meat Seeker.
Meat Seeker. Yeah.
Meat Seeker. Yeah.
Which one was that?
They were a rear deploying.
Like when you hit, it would.
Trophy Ridge.
Trophy Ridge.
Yep.
They were real like. When I was really 10 years ago, they were really popular.
Yeah,
but the blades were so flimsy they'd break.
Would they break easily?
Yep. But I mean, they were on the right track because it was a 3-blade, 2-inch rear deploying broadhead. Like, that thing was a killer. Was crazy.
Yeah.
If they could do a little more durability, it'd be probably one of the best. I think that.
Yep.
I really wish the G5 ones. I wish New York would get rid of that frickin' or rewrite the law or something, because you can't shoot the G5s in New York, right?
No, well, some of them you can.
You can?
There's certain ones you can.
Like the dead meat or whatever?
Dead meat. Well, I think, and that's...
The mega meat.
The mega meat, I don't think you can.
But the dead meat, I think you can.
I think so.
Okay.
I think. And I really like the G5. As a company, they're not... I don't believe they're conglomerate owned like all these companies are getting to be. They're a Michigan company.
Yeah.
Like my old Matthews, my Z7, they don't make them anymore, but they used to make sights and everything.
Yeah, stabilizers and I think everything, And
it's like that sight's, I'm partial to it because on the Z7 that I've killed all the deer I've killed with, but it's like, man, that thing don't owe me a dime. And I remember buying it like, man, $160 for a sight. Like, but best money I ever spent,
I think I still have one of their quivers on my old Spider. I hunted with that for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the best quivers, I think, because it had a little latch you picked up and it slid off of this little dowel thing.
Yep.
And you could buy them little dowel things and screw them into the tree or branch or whatever, and then you could put your quiver right on it. So, like, if you ever needed to rip one out real quick, I used to shoot my quiver off a lot. But
I'll only shoot my quiver off.
I shoot
that's
with
how
it
the only way I hunt.
Oh,
do you hunt with it on more?
What was that one broadhead, Tanner, I shot for a while? Well, 1 year I shot it actually. It wasn't the 3-blade expandable, but it was a 2-blade.
The Blood Runner.
Yes,
Blood Runner.
NAP Blood Runner.
Yep.
Was not really impressed with that, but
good science behind it though.
Yep,
it was good. It was a plunger, I think, is how it was.
Like it would deploy. You know what I mean?
Yep, would come out on impact.
But I tell you what, everybody gives like all these bows and broadheads grief and everything. Like, I guarantee you, though, have you ever tried, like, if you got a dead deer, it might be a little gruesome, but to try to push a broadhead through a deer?
No, but you just gave me a new idea.
Like, I'm just wondering because, like, you can give a bow and arrow as much shit as you want, but, like, there's a lot of force behind that thing to go.
Yeah.
You get a complete pass through on a buck, that's wicked.
And, like the evolution of bow hunting now, like, everything is at our fingertips. You got all these great guys doing YouTube videos, figuring out the energy, your arrow weight, everything. And then it's like, man, and now they almost got it down to a science. Like, if you're shooting, they tell you, if you're shooting a big expandable, you want a heavy air, you want a 450.
More kinetic energy.
Yeah, you want a heavier arrow. then I think back to like when I cut my teeth hunting, I was using 380 grain total weight arrows with a 2-inch whitetail special on it.
Yeah.
And I
just
pounded every deer I shot, and I killed some big deer with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't always get a pass through, but I think some of the hard stuff they're telling you got to use. It's all with good science behind it.
But you don't have to.
No,
you know what I mean.
No,
and it's like the technology has come so far. Look at the sights nowadays.
I know.
You're telling me I can shoot at 20 yards, dial it in, shoot at 60 yards, dial it in, and I'm good out to 100. How do you do that? It's crazy.
No, they've come a long way. Now we've got Garmin sights where you just press a button on your bow and it tells you the range. They seem pretty cool. I'm glad you guys touch on that. How do you guys feel about movable pin sights? Do you guys use them? Or
that's all I shoot.
Movable?
Yeah.
Single, or do you
have the Trek too?
No, I've got a spot. I'm a fixed pin guy.
Okay.
I'm a fixed pin.
Vertical or horizontal?
Old school.
Horizontal. Yeah. I don't think I could ever shoot one like that again.
I don't think I could ever shoot horizontal again.
Oh, you guys got the vertical pins.
Vertical adjustable.
I shoot the dialed sight. That's what I have.
I got the CB Trek 2.
Now, is that the brand new one?
No, this is the old I think the Arxos. And then what's the new one?
And you dial it to the range just like any slider. Okay.
Yep. And before that I shot HHA.
Yep.
But he what the hell?
CBE Trek 2.
CBE. They got wicked stuff too.
Yeah, CBE. Yep.
If I get another one, which I'm probably gonna here not before long, I'd go with just a one.
Single pin.
Because it's just I got enough to look at and shit going through my mind.
Clutter. Yep.
Oh yeah. So I just need one pin and I'll move it from there. My thought was I'll have two if he comes in at 20 yards and bumps out to 30 or 40. I got it right there already. I don't have to adjust anything. Yeah. But it's just too much for me to look at. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It doesn't sound like much, but it is to me. A lot looking through my peep and seeing two pins, a deer, and everything around the deer.
Yep.
It's just too much for me.
Yep. I have an idea. I don't even want to talk about it because somebody's going to take it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. This is your adjustable one pin sight. Okay. This is your post, and then that's your pin. You move that to aim on whatever, all 20 to 100, whatever it is.
Yep.
I wish, and I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to take nail polish or something, and I'm going to have that one as 20, and then I'm going to put another dot at 30. I'm going to put another dot at 40. I'm going to put another dot to sight in like that, and then that way, on the post. If a deer jumps out and you don't have time to move the freaking thing, okay, he's at 30 now. You already have it on there.
Yeah.
But then you only use the top for when you dial. He's at 42. All right, bam, 42.
Yep. No, that's a good idea.
I think they have sights like that already.
I've never seen one. Because how would you adjust? There's no way to sight them in. You'd have to manually. I mean, it's probably going to be a bitch, but anything's better than nothing. And out west, hunting in South Dakota, it was a pain in the ass spotting and stalking because that one, he had the decoy in front of me.
He had to move his sight four times.
Yeah, he would range it, and he's like, okay.
60.
And then...
Started out at 170.
Right. And then, okay, 40. All right. It's a pain in the ass.
And you guys are this is like a ground and pound situation.
With a Doritos box
decoy we made.
We got within 40 yards of this buck. And, I mean, it was so windy, it was moving you around. And
I was
going to tell him to shoot. But we didn't see the doe in between us and him, and he was fucking stiffened right up, coming right at us.
Yeah.
And I told him, set your pin for 40, and I was just getting ready to tell him to come out and shoot.
Shit was going to get west.
Doe jumped up, and he fucking dogged that doe, and we ran up to the top of the hill, and they almost came back to us. But he dogged this doe along this barbed wire fence for, 5-6 minutes we watched him?
Yeah.
And they were 20 yards from the truck.
Were they really?
I'm like, you got
we're out there walking miles and miles.
Just in rare form, that beer goggle buck, you know.
And they just happened to bed down there. We just so happened, he came pick me up. I was hunting that morning. We just so happened.
We were going back.
Shit, right there. Yeah. On public. Perfect.
Yep.
You guys, your homemade buck or?
Buck, yep. I'm going to buy one next year because I don't know where or what I'm doing this year, but I would like to have the one that goes right on your bow.
Yep.
Eliminates you holding it and screwing around.
Because if I didn't have him there to range, that would have been impossible. Trying to hold that decoy, hold my bow, move my sight, range, impossible.
And you watch these guys on YouTube's the hunting pressure, the hunting public,
whitetail adrenaline,
big one
with a decoy.
do-it-yourself hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But like watching them guys and filming it,
Mm-hmm.
I give those guys the utmost
So much
respect.
credit.
It is so hard to. I didn't even carry a camera because I'm like, it's so windy. I can't do anything but hold this damn decoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to like hold. I was holding it and like
Antlers
holding the
were flying
horns because they were trying to blow
Yes.
back. So I'm like trying to hold the horns and range it, and I'm like trying to tell to him yard. He's like, what? Like I'd have to like yell to him what
So
the yardages
windy.
were,
Yeah,
and like I was
grass
trying
is
to
so
grunt and.
But like that's
crazy.
what we go out there and do that for. Like being able when our kids get older and everything, and telling them that me and their uncle were running around the plains of South Dakota with a freaking buck
Doritos
decoy that we
box
made out of a
decoy.
Dorito box, chasing this buck around.
Yes.
It's crazy.
And you got videos to show them, and
Yep.
they'll be laughing at you guys in 10 years.
Oh yeah,
And
100%.
Like this year, you touching on with this buck, your whole family was there. Tanner, Sarah, Hannah, my dad, Cheryl, everybody came to recover that with me. Finley looks at that picture to this day, and she goes, "Dad, why didn't you call me?
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't you call me?" She
Yeah.
says, and
Yeah.
she's going to be 5 this year, and just like for her seeing that and not being there, like that meant something to her, you know, and
Yep.
like that means a lot to me.
Yeah, just it's kind of it's the moments more than
Yeah.
the animal,
Yeah.
than what you're hunting. And
Even Sarah with her buck that she shot this year.
Yep.
Literally, that picture that we have is
Mhm.
my favorite picture because everybody in the family's like it's so cool to have that. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
she shot it. Literally,
Everybody was there
everybody
for the
came. There was a
recovery.
herd of people out there. It was unreal.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll remember that for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
They really will. It's when you're young, certain things stick with you.
Yeah.
It's
But you try to build core memories with them. You know, like I have some with Dad and all that. And
Mhm.
it's weird to think like now it's my job to make them memories for
It is,
you know. It's
Yep. It's coming full circle.
yeah.
Yep.
What it's doing.
Yeah. What bow do you shoot now?
I shoot a Bowtech solution now.
Yeah. Do you
Yep.
like it?
I do. I kind of chased my tail with it last year. A limb cracked, and then it was 3 different bow shops who thought they knew how to work on it and didn't. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the funny part about this deer. It was like I finally went over and seen Ron and Morris like 2 days before the opener, and he got my bow tuned in, dialed in.
He was telling me, he's like, yeah, somebody came over like 2 days before the season. He's like, was in trouble with your,
Yeah,
he
that
was
was
telling
me.
me. Yeah,
that was
okay.
me. That was me. And God bless him. He does great.
He's
He knows
smart.
his stuff, and he's not even a Bowtech dealer, but
Yeah.
he next thing you know, I mean, he's got my bow paper tuned. I'm not a broadhead guy, but I went home and I screwed on some Montex, and I was killing it at 40 yards, which tells me that bow is. I don't know a whole lot about bow tuning and broadhead tuning and all that, but if your fixed blade hits where you're aiming at 40 yards, your bow's
Absolutely.
in good shape.
Yeah, it's tuned properly.
Ron is a magician like that. He's a wizard of some sort. He's a good dude, man.
You can tell he's in it because he likes doing it.
Oh, absolutely. I end up talking to him more than I do anything when I'm up there.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Nice little shop he's got in his basement there.
Yep.
Every buck
I
I
think that's
killed.
the only time I've ever been over there.
Yeah.
But I'd heard of him through a couple people and over in the bow shop over in Morrison. Then I seen online he was selling the elites. He's an elite Matthews
that's
dealer.
what I
Everything.
got.
You got an elite?
I went with the Eon this year, and that's why I killed both my bucks with that this year.
No, it was the Era.
What?
Eon's a new one. You have the Era.
Sorry, I have the Era.
The Era.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I love it, and I don't know if I want to go to the Artist or just keep shooting my Era.
Oh, really? What axle to axle is that, Paul?
32, isn't it?
Is that?
32.
Yeah.
They seem to all be kind of going a little longer. I mean,
Little
every
bit,
company's got the
Long
30-inch
and
still,
short, yeah.
but
So I shot my bucks, and like I texted Ron, you know, I'm like, hey, dude, you know, just started my new Era, and I killed my first buck with it. And then in Illinois, when I shot mine, he was the first person I texted.
He would check up on us like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
He is so cool. He fucking texts us Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
like he's such a good dude.
Yeah, just a good, personable guy. Yeah.
And that's hard to find anymore. Like you can find a good Bowtech, but are they good? Like it's hard to find a good person.
Do they
that's
give a
good
shit about
Bowtech.
you?
Yeah,
Exactly.
And that's before we found Ron. Nathan's like, we need to start doing the stuff on our own bows because nobody's going to care about how. Once it leaves the shop, it leaves the shop. Nobody cares more about how it shoots than us.
Exactly.
You know. But
Exactly.
we found Ron, and that dude cares.
I had a little twang in my bow,
Mhm.
and Ron took everything apart while I was there, shot it, and still couldn't find it. He's like, "Can you leave it with me for the night, and I'll see what I can do." And he called me or texted me late that night, and he's like, "Hey, I got your bow all set up. You're in good shape now. There's no noise." I don't remember if it was a screw for the quiver or something on the sight.
I think it was for the quiver.
Yep.
Yeah. But like just like that, he gave a shit. He went through, took time out of his day to do it.
Yep.
And he's just an all around good guy.
He loves that.
Yeah, he does.
He's a good dude. Good dude.
But no, I want to ask you guys. Do you guys think the new bows are more high maintenance than bows 15 years ago?
Yes.
I think they're made that way, though.
Well, because they had to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how I really got into bow hunting 15, 20. When I was a teenager, I got a couple Matthews. Ended up with the Z7. Even thinking back from them, bow speeds really haven't. I mean, bows have gotten more efficient, no doubt.
Yeah.
The new Bowtech is like shooting a Ferrari compared to a Ford Taurus.
Yep.
Bowtech compared to Z7. But if you look at the top speeds, they're more shootable now. I'll give them that.
More forgiving.
They're more forgiving now, but I think they're kind of maxed out with speed.
The past couple years, they've been going, you'll see trends. The trend they've been going to, and Bowtech is a big one, with self-tunability for a person to be able to do it. But now I do think speed's probably going to come back. Do you remember PSE Omen?
Oh yeah, shot one. I almost bought one when I bought one.
Yeah, that was when speed, that's all anybody cared about. They didn't care what it felt like in your hand, nothing.
Yeah, they were 365 feet per second 15 years ago. But to shoot one, think about
rugged.
Rip your shoulders out of socket.
Yeah.
5.5-inch brace height.
I do think that might start to come back here in the next couple of years. Not stupid wicked like that, but I do think they will start to get a little bit faster now. Because it feels like they kind of, like you said, they had to reinvent everything. And then now they've gotten to the point to where, okay, all right, now everything's starting to set. Now let's go for something different, Yep.
And it's a lot of all these companies now. Probably your Elite's got the same. It's tunable. The cams, you can tune them in and out.
Yeah.
But do you really honestly understand how to do that?
Nope. No. I call Ron.
Yeah. But to be fair, it's only a YouTube video away, probably. But I don't trust myself enough. That's why, Hoyt isn't big into the custom tunization thing.
Mm-hmm. Not yet.
Because I'm going to take it somewhere. Because I know
exactly, and that's how.
If I had to, I would try to. I would figure it out and do my best with it. But as long as Ron's in business, I'm going to keep taking my shit there.
And that's how I am. And that's the Bowtech I have now. That's kind of its claim to fame. It's got the deadlock, which you can tune the axles, and that's kind of the problems I was having with it. Is watch every YouTube video online, and then 3 shops later, you can tell they don't really understand it either. It's the selling point, and I love the bow. It shoots fast. It's, put him on the wall for I have no complaints, but man, it's just it's supposed to be easier, but I don't see it being that way.
That's why that's not a big selling point for me. I don't think. But what year is that bow?
It's I think it's a 21.
21. Okay. Yep.
I got it brand new, but it was a couple years old. But but it was. It was like I said, it's a Ferrari compared to a Ford Taurus. I shot a Z7 for a long time.
Are you going to look for a new one this year? Or are you happy with that?
No, I'm not a new bow. I'm going to hunt with that one until probably another 10 years or so. They're so damn expensive now.
Holy shit! You got to damn near take out a personal loan.
Yeah, you do. You really
and that's just for the bow. Then that dialed sight. I'm pretty sure the new one's $599.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Big money.
I don't know what site I'm going to end up going with.
And dabbling
I'd shoot a CBE. I think they got their shit figured out.
Who makes your site?
Mine's a Spot Hog.
Spot
Hog's really good too.
Yeah.
What do you got, the Fast Eddie or?
No, it's fixed pin.
Oh shit.
So they have a really good plethora of adjustable ones.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
they do. Really I think they might be a little on the heavy side, but it's kind of. You probably drop it out of your tree stand and it's still work. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's heavy, but it's solid. No, and that's why I want to touch about the single pin. It's kind of, or the movable pin, I should say.
Yep.
It seems to be everyone's going that way. I've never had one, but I'm just so used to fixed pins. And when a deer's at 35 yards, you bracket your pins accordingly.
Yep. So
if I ever get a movable sight, it's probably be a 3-pin with set your top at 20 and have your set. Then you can adjust it from there. And then you at least have
that's kind
two
of
other pins.
Yours is right.
Yes.
Yeah. You have when it's set, you have 3 fixed pins. I think right.
No, 2.
2. Okay. Or they make 3 or whatever variation.
And how do you normally 20, 30? Like sitting in your stand.
No, it's you can't adjust your second pin, so wherever it lies, it lies. You know what I mean?
It might be like 42 or
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's never.
I think they do make some though, where you have like say you have 3 pins, sight them in 20, 30, 40, and then when you adjust it, that's your top.
You have 3
pin,
pins on your dial that
50,
tells
60,
you what
70.
it is.
No, your other 3 don't match up. You use your top one for your adjustable one.
Yep. You're just adjusting the top one. That's how I understood it.
Yep.
So that would be the same as you talking about this.
To a point, but I don't want horizontal. You know what I mean? I don't think I could ever go back to honestly shooting a horizontal pin.
You don't think so?
I don't think I could.
What do you think of that sight that Ron shoots?
With the crosshairs?
Yeah.
That's a CB. That's a pretty wicked sight. I like that a lot. It's got a pin, and then it's got a circle with crosshairs around it.
Oh, really?
And it like the way he talks, you could
if you're not lined up, you can tell like your shot's going to be off.
You can almost shoot it without a peep.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if he uses
as long
a peep or not.
He does, but as long as it's in the center, it's like a peep on a shotgun. You know?
Yep. And I like what you're saying. You want to go to a single pin, like that's the old adage of the peep sight on like a rifle or shotgun. It's like if there's one bead in it, it always your eye naturally is going to center that one pin rather than like you guys are saying with the clutter.
Yep.
That's just one more thing.
Yep.
One more thing.
Yep.
Mine is always as soon as I get my peep up there, I put it right around the housing, circle to circle. You know, and then I know. All right, it's dead nuts. Dead nuts.
I don't ever look at any of that. I just pull up and.
That's the one thing I pay attention to.
I'll tell you right now, my pin hits there and I'm hitting that trigger.
That's right.
I'm bad about it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think you kind of got to be like I dabbled in the 3D, which I have done it for years.
I get the worst target panic.
But like the 3D hunt, like the 3D shoot, it's great and it's practice, but it's a whole different game than hunting whitetails out of a tree stand. Like it really is. It's like, man, I almost want a different bow for this 3D with a movable sight with a lot lighter arrows. It's like you could spend $2,000 just to having a setup just for the 3D circuit.
Mm-hmm.
What is Elite? Oh, the Exalt. That's the one I wanted to shoot. That's their crossover. It's hunting and target bow.
Yeah.
So you could do either or with it, but I think that I'm going to shoot it this year. I want to try see how it feels and everything. And I'm like a geek when I go to Ron. I ask him every single question of every single thing. And he's always got answers for it. But I think that'd be a good bow. And I don't do a lot of 3D shoots because usually we're there selling stuff. We don't have time to.
Yeah, I felt for you guys this summer when I was like, man, I bet they wish they could come shoot some of these targets.
I did the second day.
I
did end up going. Yeah.
Yep.
It was neat. That's a really good shoot.
Yeah, that's the first time I've been to that one. But that's why I said if I even just do just do that for the 2 days, and it was a great time.
I think that was the first time we talked and everything, but that was the first time I ever actually met you in person. Yeah.
I remember years back getting some mouth calls.
Yeah,
through
Derek,
buddies.
I think Derek would get them for you. Yeah.
Yep. They were really good calls. Really good calls.
Derek.
Lamb.
Yep.
He's a good shit. But no, I don't know. The whole hunting thing, oh my God. You can go down rabbit holes with it.
Yeah, so turkeys. Let's talk about some turkeys here.
Don't get him started.
Do you guys travel for them at all or not really?
I'm going to this year, I think.
Are you going to hop in the...
Like maybe Maine and Vermont, maybe Pennsylvania.
PA too?
Yep.
I've killed one in
Highly
South Carolina.
recommend Maine and Vermont.
Yep.
I've never hunted PA before, but the Northeast is great.
That's what I don't understand. Like this
PA's
year,
right here.
We're making it our goal this year to hunt opening weekend of PA rifle. I don't know. We want to make it a tradition, but because traditions are also dying out. That's a whole nother topic you can run down, but it's an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
We're almost 30 years old now and haven't ever hunted there. Why?
Right.
It's so you could get 2 opening days in a season. New York and Pennsylvania.
Is there like a week
behind,
past
I
ours?
think,
Yeah, like that. The last Saturday in November, I think
something
they
like
opened.
I don't know.
Yep.
And we're usually home from our trip by then too, so but we're gonna make it a priority too.
Some good deer in Pennsylvania too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Ohio, but they got some big deer.
But there you go. We're not out I'm not. I'd love to shoot a 200-inch buck, but I'm not out there I'm looking for a nice, respectable buck that's there for the area.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're trying to build a tradition, to be able to do it and everything.
Yep.
If we get Dad to go down there, and we were talking about doing an Airbnb, having everybody down, all the families.
I got a good buddy from Pennsylvania. It's definitely on the short list. He's been trying to get us together for a little turkey camp down there later season, but with my guide and all our schedules. But it's going to happen the next couple of years for sure.
So how does that? Do you get a lot of time to turkey hunt for yourself?
I make it. I make it. I try to head out of state before our season gets here. A couple of our neighboring states open a little earlier than us. But no, that's kind of the tough part is,
how many people you usually take out average a year?
Through the guide service?
Yeah.
Turkeys, probably, I'd say between 15 and, I mean, we have 15 or 20 clients. It don't mean I'm taking every single one. We've got another guy that works with us, so he kind of gets half too.
So how, do you guys work weekend, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to structure the hunts around the weekends, just so the clients coming in, usually works better on a week. We do 3-day hunts for everything.
Yeah. So like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Or it might be a Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Okay. So
So
you work with them. That's good.
Yeah. Yep.
You've been doing that 8-9 years now.
8-9 years now. Yep.
And then you took it over?
Yeah, I took over this business. The old boss retired, and now we're kind of in transition, but still got the doors open, still killing deer and turkeys.
Keeping the lights on.
So hopefully keep it going.
Yeah. What's your favorite? I know you like to hunt turkeys, but what's your favorite thing to guide for?
Turkeys.
Turkey?
Turkeys.
So
100%. You're killing the bird without pulling the trigger.
Yeah. So you sitting there watching it, you get the same out of it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I like that. You're killing the bird without pulling the trigger.
And it's actually, even all these years I've been doing it, I still get worked right up when a bird's coming in, and I'm just glad sometimes I'm glad I don't have to make the shot, because you're so tore up.
Boy, I'd fuck this one up.
Yep.
How many firsts have you had? Like people's first turkeys? A lot?
A lot. I mean, a lot way before I even started to guide, because I kind of, like you guys, I've always been like the one, I've always been all about turkey hunting and taking new people. So I've been there made a lot of people into turkey hunters, I like to think.
Yeah.
But no, first is always.
That's a good way to think of it. Yeah. Because you don't that could have sparked them, and then now they're a turkey hunter for life.
Yeah. And I try, as a guide, I try to, for 3 days, try to teach them as much as I can. But at the end of the day, some people don't want to learn. Some people have already got it all figured out, if you know what I mean. Some people can't.
I think, isn't that the golden rule? Don't guide to guide.
Yeah.
I've had to say it once or twice. But
now, come deer, how many clients you got for deer?
We've cut back. We've cut back on numbers just with property we got. But it's I don't know. We usually do 5 bow hunts and 6 gun hunts and a muzzleloader hunt.
Yeah.
And by hunts, I mean it's a 3-day hunt for 3 days. Everybody stays at camp. The guides bring you to and from your spot. We pick out the tree stand based on wind, what we've been seeing, MRI. But it's such a it's kind of the hardest part of my
that's gotta be stressful.
You got so many spots these guys can sit, and we want everybody to be successful, but it's you're trying to play the tiptoe game, trying to keep pressure off your spots, but wanting people to be successful and have good hunts.
You want to know what's crazy to me? We used to hunt in New York strictly. That's all we would do. We'd hunt all season to get a shot at one buck.
Yeah.
You're trying to do that
in 3 days
with multiple people, not even just you're not worrying about yourself. You're trying to put everybody else, give them that opportunity.
Yeah.
That blows my freaking mind. That's got to be stressful.
It is, but you got to kind of just have, like I tell turkey clients, you have first day of the hunt, every now and then it's a shit show. Birds ain't gobbling. They just not playing the game. I tell them just trust the process.
Yep.
What we've been doing for the last 4 hours may seem like we're chasing our tails, but
we're learning.
Just trust the process. It's just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and eventually you're.
Do you let them shoot jakes?
For first timers, I will.
So if I showed up, I couldn't shoot a jake.
No. Not that I'm.
Damn it.
not through the guides, because you got to leave stock for the next year. But I'm not.
That's management.
I'm not too proud to shoot a Jake myself. I've been out of state and been tickled pink to.
Oh, absolutely.
To carry a short beard out of the woods with me and roast them on the Barbie. Nothing better than some Jake breasts on the grill.
Yep.
So.
Yep. 100%.
And that's I try to hold out for long beards, but I do if I can help it. I'm hunting a long beard, but sometimes it gets tough, and sometimes you gotta torture Jake to
get the jitters out.
That's right.
So how many acres you guys dabble with, and do you own it or lease it, or how's that work?
We lease everything, and it kind of changes by the year. Some they come, they go. You get more. You lose some, you win some.
What I really liked that you said was you cut back a little bit, like deer population, whatever.
Yeah.
The Midwest is known for it. Yeah, like okay, they're instead of cutting back, they'll just lower their standards. All right, 120s are on the books now.
Mm-hmm.
But you're taking away crops so fast.
Just getting as many people through the door and making as much money as possible.
Yeah,
I said this the day I got into guiding. I didn't get into guiding to
be
rich. Famous, to be the big shot, or I got into guiding to become a better hunter.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day. Look at how much you get to learn. And we just talked to a guy, him and his brother, their tradition is they go out to the Midwest. They do a guided hunt every year. They're paying like $4,200 to $500 or $4,200 to $5,000. He's like he was telling us they had 35 guys in camp.
35
at once.
Like, I mean, okay, as from the guides aspect, times 35 by 5,000. Ridiculous money, but that's insane to me. Like, I don't care how much land you have or whatever. Like, there's no way you're taking out
too much.
An entire age class. If everybody there shoots 120-inch buck, you're taking out an entire age class, and you have to wait to get back to where you even just were. Like, it blows my mind.
Yep. That's just getting people through the door and making the money. A lot of outfitters. I've even gotten a bad rap from people like that don't know me, and just because I work as a guide or as an outfitter, and told because they've had bad experiences with guides. It's like, oh, I'm not that guy. I'm in it for because I like doing it. And probably what I'm best at, so you might better stick what you're best at in life,
Absolutely.
But no, I love turkey hunting. And when I started guiding, actually, I didn't want to even deer guide.
Just do the turkeys?
Yeah, so I did that a couple of years, but then the door opened. The other guy was going back to Alaska, and I was like, oh, I guess I like deer guiding better than I like the construction site. And I've learned, what I do love is you're there for the best moment, like recovering the deer. Well, best and worst. You might not find it, but if you're there for recovery, you're there at the height of it.
Yeah. What do you think your ratio is on, like, if somebody shoots a year, your loss to recovery process of it?
All depends.
Yeah.
It really all depends.
Good years and bad years.
There's good years. Actually, we had a real good year this year as far as no wild goose chases. I think we lost one that we couldn't get. But you can only do so much on that.
Yeah, you're not there pointing the trigger, aiming.
Yeah. But I mean, at the start of the year, you gotta figure there's going to be some you don't get back.
Oh yeah.
It's just kind of
goes
with the territory.
You don't have to answer, but do you do more New York residents or more out of state people?
Generally out of state.
Out of state.
We do have some locals, which are usually newer hunters, but mostly out of state guys. And most on the deer aspect is probably most northeastern guys. We get a lot of Vermont guys, a lot of New Hampshire guys, Mass guys, because they just don't have the deer like we do, and it's a different world out there. I mean, Vermont's decent, but I tell you, once I started turkey hunting out there like 5 years ago, I was like, man, I realized why all these guys are coming to New York to hunt. Because like I'm hunting nice farms, and deer sign is like nil. Like there should be trails everywhere. You're lucky to see a few deer. It's like they just don't have numbers in Vermont.
Turkeys. So that was your daughter's bird?
Yep. That was New York 2 years ago. It was her first youth hunt with me.
Okay. Yeah. What have you put they've killed some big birds too?
Oh yeah. But like turkeys, like
you don't really know. Yeah.
Well, and it's like to me that's the beauty of turkey hunting is let's not make it what deer hunting's become a game of inches and giving them another year and all that shit.
You guys
call
weigh
him a
all your
long-beard
birds?
shoot 'em.
I do.
You do?
Just for
you ever do like an average of the year?
No, but certain year, like doing this for as long as I have, like certain years, 21 and oh, like we've had a couple years where you get a lot of over 20 pound birds.
Yeah.
And then I think it was last year, it was kind of, they were all 18, 19.
18-ish, yeah.
But no, I like to weigh them just to see what they were. But no, we've gotten some big ones for clients. I've gotten one of my clients, he killed 25. It was 25 pounds of 2.5 spurs.
Jeez.
A very well traveled, like he's been to Mexico, to all over. It's what he does. An older guy from Pennsylvania, but I thought it was pretty special that I got him to the biggest one he's ever killed.
That was his biggest?
Yeah, 25 pound. He had spurs, a little smaller than this, but
Jesus.
But to turkey hunting, all the hardware is just a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he comes to your calling and plays the game and you beat him, that's a trophy.
Display.
If he's got 3/4 inch spurs and 8-inch beard, so be it.
Yeah.
He's gonna ride in the back of my truck every day.
Absolutely. I'm a Jake lover. He hates it, but
not me, bud.
We ain't never killed a turkey together. You believe that?
Missed a bunch.
Have you?
I love how he looked at you and said, "Have you?"
Yeah. I went through a bad.
Well, being brothers, you guys probably butt heads sometimes too, so you probably want to hunt.
Yeah.
You probably have different hunting styles and want to hunt
with deer hunting. Yes. Usually with turkey hunt, I'm his client.
Oh yeah.
What do you need me to
do? It's easier for you that way.
Yep. I just follow him.
You just buckle and
when you hear the gunshot
and you're there for the ride.
Yep.
You hear the gunshot and the bird flies away. I just stand up, put my head down, and walk away.
The one bird.
Tanner, get the fucking decoys. We're out of here.
One of the coolest hunts ever. We snuck up. I belly crawled. Birds were hammering. Get up over this ridge, and it was like right where the hemlocks start to meet hardwoods, and then like a little bit of a field. We were just in the corner, and I was watching them. They had their heads wrapped around. They were fighting and everything. There was a bunch of Jakes and 2 big Toms, and I shot, and they all flew away. And I'm like,
you scattered them.
Fuck. And then I turn around, and he's already walking back to the car. He's pissed.
That was a morning before school.
I missed like 7 birds that year. I don't know what. I haven't not picked that gun up ever since then. I put it down.
I was going to say, you haven't brought that gun up.
I don't
want
to give any of my secrets away, but in that situation, if that ever happens to you again and all the birds scatter, just stay there, eat your lunch, give it an hour. Those birds are going to all light back up more than they were when they first came because they want to get back together. Mm-hmm. That's a fall tactic.
Yeah. You want to know one of the coolest hunts, and probably I learned the most from. I was down on my grandma's, and I was driving. I was getting ready to go up hunting. I was driving there, and right where her property starts, there was 2 turkeys in the road. One was a big Tom that I was trying to kill him for like a week straight, and I'm pretty sure it was the same one.
Yep.
And he took off flying to the right, and the hen went down. Mm-hmm. So I pulled in, and I let off a call. Boom! Immediately, I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Cut your right off.
Yeah, and I pull up there and everything. What ended up messing me up is my dad always told me if they're in range, and as soon as you see their head, kill them. If you don't have decoys and everything, because they're looking for something.
Yep.
And he popped his head up over, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna come right up." Nope, back down. Boop, boop, boop. Took right off. I'm like, "Shit!" So I learned. I should have shot him. I should have had Dad in the back of my mind. But mm-hmm. 2, I separated him, and he was looking for that hen.
Yep.
And I was just there, like
he didn't see what should have been there.
Yeah.
And he didn't come.
Yeah. I've seen my dad scared hens away from decoys before,
mm-hmm.
and gotten them out of there. And
we did that 2 years ago or last year when we killed that one over here.
Yep.
Remember that? Yep. We called that hen right up the hill. She went right behind us, and I got up and scared her.
Got her out
and
there.
The longbeard was gobbling down over the hill. And I, got real excited and shit on the call when she was flying to cover up her wings and everything. And
mm-hmm.
wasn't a minute or 2 later, here comes a red head up over the hill, and then he's strutting around. And my dad ended up killing that bird. That was a wicked cool hunt.
That was a sweet hunt. That was on film.
Oh, your dad got him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Me and Dad were sitting on the same tree, and Dad's like, "All right, he comes on that side, you shoot him. He comes on this side, I'll shoot him." I'm like, "Okay." I wasn't gonna shoot.
And that's like the fun part about turkey hunting, like that. Like, so for me to analyze that, so what do you think? Spooking that hen off is what got him to come, or did you think that spooking that hen off and you calling, he knew there was a hen up there,
yeah.
and it's the what if. Like that's what I, as a guide, and like I look back and what, and try to, every scenario, what got him killed? Why did he do?
Yeah.
Why did he do what he did?
I'm glad you said that, because I feel like a lot of people don't go back through and like they relive it, but they don't take away like, oh, okay, like, all right, well, he walked right because there was a tree down there. Now maybe if we knew that, we would have sat up over there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So looking back at it, I guess after you saying that, I would say he probably would have came up there anyways, because she was coming and going, and he was obviously coming with her.
Yeah, so he already knew.
So he was probably coming with her. Yeah, but I just did that out of security.
Rather than her spooking.
Yeah. Well, that or if you let her be and she stayed right there, well, if he starts gobbling up there, where's she gonna go?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what you did by getting her out of there, is taking that out of the.
That's a good point.
Eliminating one thing.
Yep.
You weren't letting her go back to him.
And like youth season this year, I had one hunt where
last year.
Last year. Sorry. We get up to the top of this ridge and we're all catching our breath because it's a steep walk up there and
mountain goat.
Oh yeah, and there was 4 of us. It was me, my buddy Jake, and his family members. And we get up there, everybody's catching their breath and admiring the view because it's beautiful up there. And I called a little bit and the bird hammered, so we all take off running and go over there. He sets up with his daughter, and Jake and I stayed back. And I called again, and he hammered again a lot closer. He's running. So Jake's like, maybe you should drop back. So I dropped back, and just on the other side of the ridge, I was scratching some leaves, calling, and
he came right
to 20 yards from her, and she smoked him.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, but see,
no decoys there or nothing. But I knew if I stayed there and called, he'd be looking, and it wouldn't have worked. So I backed away.
Yep.
And I took a lot away from that hunt, informational wise.
See, I think that would be cool because I'm not on that end of it a lot. I love turkey hunting, and I think I'm an okay turkey hunter, but I'm not like you guys. You guys are a different breed of turkey hunter, but
I go to bed at nights thinking, should I use a Jake decoy, 2 hands, the strutter, and sweating bullets.
Like just thinking about him drop back, or he didn't know what was going on. I think about that a lot with elk hunting too. Like you drop back, you don't even know what's going on, then all of a sudden there's a gunshot. You don't know even what's going on. That's pretty cool. You said decoys. Do you?
In the woods, I'll use decoys. In a field, I won't.
I'm talking about directional, though.
I let them do what they're going to do.
Well, no, but they say, like, bucks, if you use a buck decoy, you want the head to be facing wherever it is because they're going to come around and face them head on.
Yeah, but you don't have to shoot a turkey broadside.
No, I'm just saying, turkeys, they say, put the ass to the turkey because they like coming up behind the turkey.
That makes sense.
That's what I've heard.
And I'm all about, like, I'm a setup guy when it comes to turkey hunting. That's what kills your birds is how you set up and how you put your decoys and where,
So you run decoys in fields?
90%.
He had one bad experience and gave it up.
Ain't about it.
I mean, we hunt, like, a lot of our properties they're big fields, and even with decoys, you're sitting there watching them at 600 yards all morning long. Yeah. And a lot of times that's the only thing that's really going to get them to step. I probably use decoys 80% of the time. Avian X, I've got some of them. I've got an Avian X hen who's probably seen 100 turkeys die in her life. She's kind of sentimental now.
There you go. I got an old one named Penny.
Do you?
Seen a lot of birds.
That's an old Walmart decoy.
Oh, really?
Hard rubber.
Yep.
Go. Can't remember what I was going to say now. Damn it. Go ahead. I'll think of it.
You guys use strut decoys at all?
Yes.
Full strut? You do?
Kill them that way too. Reaping them.
Reaping them, yeah.
It just... To me, it's too easy. It's too easy.
Yeah, is that a bad taste?
It is. If you can't call turkeys, you're reaping, and that means you ain't a good turkey hunter.
Yeah,
in my book,
I wouldn't go that.
I would.
I mean, I'll do whatever as long as it's legal. I'm gonna do whatever it takes
to
kill them, especially when I'm out of state and I only got a couple days to hunt. Yeah. Like, I've reaped a couple, and it was awesome, but I've also had a lot of birds that didn't. Spooked from it.
Yeah.
And what's that do to them for the rest of the season?
It
screws them over. And I get more, and it's more rewarding for me to call them in and sit on the trap that I set and to see them die on my terms.
Last ditch effort, reap them, but like
I've tried.
To go out and do that all the time.
I think it's centered around like how the outdoor channel and everyone's like pushing that way. Like there's a lot of guys who don't even know how to properly turkey hunt because of that.
There's that way.
It's a crutch. Like there's probably guys that, I kill reap turkey. Well, you're missing a lot of the big picture there.
Yep.
And and the guiding operation, well, if I can't kill him today, well, we need to stay the hell away from, keep the pressure off them, and we'll come kill them tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
And by reaping, it just completely
ruins it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's good.
Nothing
It
but
just
educating.
educates them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I see where you're coming from too. Like, I kind of feel the same way about it too, because you see a lot of people who'd probably never kill a turkey if they didn't have if they weren't crawling behind a reaper.
Yeah, but if I'm on day 3 in Vermont on an out-of-state turkey hunting trip, out of the 3-day hunt, I'll reap one. I don't give a shit. I've tried it. I've never been able to do it, but
they usually spook, do they? Or
yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not a good crawler, I don't think.
Right, right.
Yeah, if you're not dedicated to belly crawl to a bird, you're going to blow it.
People don't understand, as a grown adult, when was the last time you crawled? Like, besides reaping turkeys, like actually gotten down and belly crawl. That shit's hard.
Oh, it is.
It's hard.
Back before the days of reaping, I killed a lot of turkeys just moving on them. And
nothing but raw nipples.
Yeah. And again, and I didn't got nothing against sneaking up on a turkey at all. But I'd rather call them and set the table and have them
come to dinner.
And I'm on a lot of forums old gobbler forum. I eat, breathe, and sleep turkey hunting. So and a lot of the old timers, like traditionalists, they kind of look down on guys. Kind of, we're talking with the reaper decoys. Those guys look down on you for using any
regular decoys. Yeah, they're purists. Yeah,
and won't only kill birds that come into a call. And my theory of that is I've bushwhacked a lot over the years. Belly crawl that bird that's playing hard to get late season, and that's a good way to kill. It's fun. It's great. I'd rather call them in.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what's hard? What takes more skill is calling in a bird that's hot and he's ready to die, or that prick you've been dealing with for 2 weeks and you got a belly crawl 200 yards. Yeah. What's harder?
That's a good way to think about that.
The bird you got a belly crawl to.
I like that a lot.
With turkeys, sometimes I'd say every turkey here in New York, you give him 1 day in the month of May. He's going to be.
That's his day.
It's going to be cake.
Yep.
You're going to call.
Yep.
He's going to come. It's going to be a piece of cake, and
And
it makes you feel. And it makes you feel like a superstar. It does. It makes you feel great.
Walk around a little different.
But what like turkey, like my turkey vest is. I tell clients it's a bag of tricks. It ain't just calls. There's a bag of tricks in there. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. And there's a lot of different ways to kill a turkey.
I remember the first year we discovered the gobbler call.
Yep.
Yeah. What a freaking tool, man! Holy cow! Don't tell people.
Yeah, that's kind of my Hail Mary.
Did you ever use the? That's what I was gonna say. Was it Nightingale?
The Jake's fighting?
No, the hen thing. Remember the squealing hen? It was supposed to mimic her getting bred or whatever.
Yeah.
You ever use that?
Nah, I mean, I was born in the dark, but not yesterday, so I never thought it would work. I never thought it would work, and I've never I spent enough time around turkeys, I know what I've never heard a turkey make that sound.
Right. The fighting purr, that's what you're talking about. On the box, they twist it.
No, they got 2 little push boxes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. You use those?
I don't use push button. No.
What's your go-to call?
Slate call.
You never got into crystal or glass or anything?
Oh, I've got stacks of them at home. I normally run a slate and a crystal or a glass. The glass will usually reach out there a little further, but the slate will do everything. Glass can be more finicky with the moisture, humidity. You break out a crystal or glass call on a 40-degree spring morning. They usually don't sound great.
Yeah.
And honestly, a good thing, a tip I learned online, put hand warmers in your vest with your call.
Yeah.
So when you pick them up, like everybody, you pick them up off the shelf at home and you sound like Dave Owens on the call. You sound great, but when you get out, and part of that's pressure, but really temperature's got a lot. Temperature, humidity's got a lot to do with those glass calls not working.
I use box to locate them and then mouth.
Kill them. That's what I'm going to give you 2 different scenarios, okay?
Okay.
One is, all right, a bird's roosted in a tree. You get there, you're 70 yards away from his roost. You got your decoys set up and everything, and you're set up. It's just you. No, you're not guiding.
Mm-hmm.
Just you. You're waiting. All right, boom, he gobbles. What's your go-to after that?
Nothing.
No.
Let him gobble some more. Get it about fly down time. Give him a little bit while he's on the roost, just a little bit of calling.
With what, mouth or?
Yeah, soft, usually a mouth call or even a slate. Just kind of let him know you're there.
Yeah.
Don't get on him until he's out. I don't get on him.
Don't hit him hard with it.
No, I don't.
Okay.
The only time you do is if you get hen interference and if the woods light up with hen talk around, well, then it becomes a calling contest.
Right. Okay. So he flies down 60 yards the other way. He's just over a hill.
Mm-hmm.
Now he can't see you. So what are you hitting him with now? He probably
fox purrs.
Okay,
so
stuff. He knows the decoys are there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably over there strutting around doing his thing or whatever. You're still doing soft.
Yeah, just soft. When he's close, soft all the time. Soft or nothing at all. Because if he knows the decoys and he's already answered me, he already knows you're there. And at that point, by calling, are you calling to a turkey to kill him, or are you calling to make him gobble?
Yeah,
because a lot of times, like these hot birds, you have the superstar birds that you have, you can't help but just give them a little more.
Oh yeah.
But really, all you're doing is slowing the process of killing him down, because he's got to stop and gobble every time. So that's why we're not hunting the gobble; we're hunting the turkey.
Yeah, that's okay.
So that's. But no, I give him I'd give him some soft stuff and hope, and just like you were saying, the deadliest turkey call in the woods.
Little leaf scratches. All right.
I don't really get on them, especially if they're in my if they're under 100 yards. I'm not going to get on a turkey.
Okay. So second scenario,
mm-hmm.
that one comes in 20 yards and you smash it in the face, dead bird.
Right.
Let me know if that scenario happens this year. All right.
Okay.
All right. So
I might fire a warning shot at him. But
so
don't do that.
You're in a corner of a field. You've seen them there before. You got your decoy spread out.
Mid-morning.
No, right off the roost. Right off the roost. They're gobbling and everything. They're down the hedgerow a little bit, but
back in the timber a little.
And they're gobbling. They're probably 150 yards away. Do you let them know you're there?
If I'm on, if this is a place I've scouted.
Yeah, know they're coming to the field.
Yep. I'm gonna let them know I'm there, but I'm not gonna hammer them.
Okay.
If I know their MO is to, fly down, they'll be in that field within an hour or so after fly down.
Okay.
I don't get on them. They're gonna come, but I do. I can't help but call.
Right. Okay. So they fly down. You think they're working the other way, towards
mm-hmm.
You're in a corner. Like this is the corner of a field. This is all field. Your decoys are here. They flew down here, but then the field takes another L like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you think they flew down and they're kind of going this way. What do you do now?
What I've learned is you just sit there.
Yeah.
Because my younger
You're scouting, so they're coming to this field.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're sitting on the destination.
Yeah. But do you get on them a little bit more?
With calling?
Yes.
I will, to see if they want to play the game.
Okay.
But the first hour, turkeys, it's like they have an itinerary.
Yeah.
And either you're going to kill them, they're going to be hotter than hell, and you're probably going to kill them, or you might better just let them sort out the pecking order, chase each other around, go get something to eat. That first hour is like they have an itinerary.
Shit's going on.
It's social turkeys. What always comes first, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but pecking order always comes before everything.
Every morning they do that,
Yep.
huh?
Yep, every day. Every day they do it. It's just the flock dynamics. You're not the boss, you're subordinate, they're getting everybody in check. So that always comes first, and you're never gonna, no matter how good you call, you're never gonna beat that.
Right.
So you might as well just let it play out.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's what. Okay, so now they come out into the field. They're 300 yards away.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 jakes and a longbeard and 4 hens.
Yep.
Are you doing anything, or are you waiting for them to be able to see your decoys? They're in the field, but you can see them out there.
I'll call a little bit, maybe try to get a hen piped up. But generally in that situation, if there's multiple gobblers, like you're saying, it's kind of a little flock, probably an earlier season situation, first week situation. So they're kind of, that bird, he's got the ladies. He might gobble.
That's what I mean. Are they? Will they end up working into the decoy, or can you coax them at all to?
You can, and I think more of that is by literally just hunting the hens and having them come in and try not to be too overwhelmed. Kind of try to match what the real hens are doing. That's what I do, because every year it's a little different. Sometimes they're screamers. Sometimes they won't say a peep. Last year they didn't say a peep. The year before they were screamers.
So, have you ever seen it to where the 3 jakes will come in and hammer the shit out of the decoy, and the longbeard never will?
Yeah. Yeah. You'll have Jake interference. That's
What do? Shoot a Jake?
No,
I will.
Just play it out. A lot of time we actually it was second day last season. I had 2 clients with me. We struck out the first day, which, if you know me, I was a little bit upset by it.
Sour.
Yeah, mad at the turkeys, not my guys, but what the hell? This is opening day. We normally smash them anyway. Second day had 3 Jakes, big cornfield set up. 3 of us are in the blind. Had 3 Jakes come out, and they won't leave my decoys alone. But what I've learned is that they're they're being Jakes. I call, they gobble. They're attacking my decoys. They won't leave. But live decoys is better than a rubber decoy any day of the week.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just let it play out, and within a half hour, up the hill, probably like 80 yards out the edge of the woods, 1 Jake. Here comes like 5 more Jakes and a longbeard. And I think they were following 2 hens. And they were like, as you described, they were just, when they got to the field, they were just working about, doing, getting something to eat. It was pretty much off the roost. They were getting something to eat, milling around. They were up on the hillside. I was calling a little, but they weren't accepting calls.
Yeah.
But once they got on that high point. Oh my God,
that's another T-shirt. Jesus, man.
That's one thing. That's one thing. Like, not to go off on a tangent, but turkey is just half the time, no matter how good you are or how good you think you are, over half the time, they're not accepting calls.
Yeah.
They're just going to freaking ignore you.
Yep.
But no, those longbeard and Jakes, and it wasn't until they got on you could kind of see them through the corn stubble, but it was breakfast time. It's like, that's what they're doing.
Gotta eat.
And they got out on a high point, and I see them Jakes. They start taking notice down over the hill. Well, they see the 3 other Jakes. Well, that's all we need. The Jakes started marching down to the others. They're from 80 yards. They're probably at 60 now. 60. The longbeard, he's just still kind of bringing up the rear, wondering what's going. But he's following. He's bringing up.
Are
the rear.
Are they coming in fast or just kind of fucking around coming in?
But when they committed. Head up,
right? Yep.
Kind of marching down to it. But the funny thing was, it's like I got 3 other Jakes around my decoys, and 3 or 4 more coming off the hill. I'm getting my guy ready. Okay, get ready. It's about ready to happen. They're going to come right down. Perfect. I look back up on the hill, and those 4 Jakes that were coming right to us, they're chasing each other around in circles. And they go running in the woods. And then the longbeard, he's just standing out. He's just standing out there, kind of like me, saying, "What the heck just happened?
Yeah.
What is going on?" Well, those Jakes are sorting out the pecking order.
Oh, yeah.
And the Tom said, well, he just kept on walking down, and he started to strut. And I said, well, now or never. And I got to see it was like seeing my kid get on the bus on first day of kindergarten. My first hand load kill. The client was using my 16 gauge, and just to see him just fold like a sack of potatoes.
Hell yeah.
It was just got me right here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty wicked. Do you do a lot of hunting with blinds with clients? Is it easier that way? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
because you don't know really their experience level or anything.
Yeah, and it's just easier to hide 2 people and to be able to sit. A lot of times turkey hunting's camping on them, and running and gutting and gobbling. Yeah. It's if we didn't hear nothing, we've been seeing them here at 10 o'clock the last couple mornings. Let's go sit.
Boy, I'd like that kind of hunt. You go with Nathan, you're gonna walk 15 miles.
And it's that's a product of like low bird numbers we've had, and just kind of trying.
You got to travel for them. You have to.
Yeah, like kind of. Growing up, we had, you guys know, there's a lot of turkeys around here. It was a boom of the population around here.
Yeah. Well, and like he said, we'll pull up to a spot, he'll get out and call, nothing will gobble. And I was always thinking in my head, and he's like, all right, let's go. We're going someplace else. He's like, in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, but how the fuck do you not know? Turkeys don't gobble sometimes. How do you not know one's there? But like now looking back on it, like it's a statistic thing. Like, okay, if there is any there, maybe they're not ready or whatever, but it's waging your bets.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Obviously, your bet's not good for that place. So there might be birds there or whatever, but if you can go and find a hot one
bird
and kill one in 3 minutes, like.
Or you can spend all morning messing with one that you messed with a couple days ago, so he's hanky, and you're just playing that game. No, you got to if you can find a hot bird, boy, I like late morning hunting too. Kill a lot of birds.
9 to noon is a bird's greatest doom.
Oh,
that's got to be a t-shirt.
Yeah, they gobble after 10 a.m. and they're in trouble.
Yeah,
gobble if they respond to you. That is.
Yep.
If you can get a bird to gobble after 9, you're in good shape.
Yeah, you might.
What's your go-to like locator?
Locator, it's funny. I get a kick out of all the YouTube owl hooters.
The owl hooters.
Because honestly, I've been hunting here my whole life, and owls work, but crow call would be my and turkeys. They're 9 times out of 10 they're gonna gobble. At sun up when the crows start. When they're still on the roost and the crows start. That's generally when they're gonna start gobbling.
Yeah, I've always liked the owl hooting at night to roost them, but then like anything past sunrise, crow call. Like I like the crow call.
I like growing up. Crow call was my number one. I've always, and I still have and use an owl call. Maybe I guess just to feel like a YouTuber.
Yeah,
but I can count on the number of gobbles I've gotten off of gobble call in one hand.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's like when we're hunting our leases for clients, it's like less is more. You're hunting the same turkeys all year, and you got to get them. So it's kind of, if you're there every morning or every night blowing the owl call, they get conditioned to that.
That's
Not that they turn and run from it, but they just get conditioned to it. They, That's another trick of mine is don't call to a turkey. Like even if you're looping on one, don't call to them unless you're where you can kill them.
Okay.
Even if you're trying to get a gobble of a location, you're doing a big 200-yard loop to get around them, like, and you want to hit this, like, just where is he? But be looking for a tree to set up against before you even pull that call off, because so many times they answer and they're on their way to you, and you're screwing around trying to get set up.
When they gobble, they're coming to you.
Sometimes, not all the time, but
late morning. That's what I found.
Yeah,
if they gobble late morning, you better sit your ass down because they're coming.
Isn't it crazy? They could hear it from 200 yards away. They know what fucking tree you're at, like what leaf you're sitting on.
Yeah,
it blows my mind every time.
They've got like radar, turkeys do, and guiding. In the fall, we used to do fall turkey hunts with use dogs to scatter them.
Yeah.
Then you call them all back. Well, and I'd always, like you were saying earlier, you drop back from your guy, give them some room, and sometimes be 2 or 3 guys, so you kind of drop back and same tactic, bring them to them. So many times as a guide, because when they scatter, they go everywhere, and next thing you know, all the turkeys are ended up in my lap, and my guys are all, they might be 30, 40 yards.
Right, you're over here like, don't shoot, hang on.
Yeah, and there's like they always come to that.
Yeah,
they've got radar. They really do.
That's crazy. So what do your guys do, your clients do, like afternoon during turkey hunting? Or do you provide lodging?
Yeah, we got camp. That's where they all stay.
Yep. Do they cook or do you guys cook?
Yeah, it's open kitchen, like kind of bring your own stuff, make yourself at home type scenario.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think usually they're probably sleeping after running with me for the last 8 hours, but no, they kind of rest up. Some guys, I'll let them know I'll be back around 6 o'clock. Take a little ride, see what we can maybe try to roost one or find one.
Do you take them out at night to like try to roost birds?
I do, if they want to. Some guys don't want to. Some guys love it. Some guys want to argue with you about a long beard you're seeing in the field at 80 yards, and I'm not so sure that's long. It's just part of the job. The hardest part of guiding is dealing with the people. It's not, you can be the best hunter in the world, but the toughest part is the people.
Yeah.
But
golly, unreal.
I got a piss pretty good.
Do you?
Yeah.
You want under here?
Yeah, we might better.
Or you got anything else real quick?
Not that I could think of, other than that would definitely have you back on to chat more.
I can talk for hours about it. So
after turkey season, I think, because
we'll do a recap on our
absolutely. Season. Maybe if time allows, maybe we can get out and turkey woods with you guys. At some point.
You've been telling me to come over and kill a turkey with you for fucking probably 3 years now. I never made it over there.
It's tough though.
It is
making time. I know you guys get busy with work during that time of year.
Right? Yeah, that's usually when we're hammering. It's like everybody's down. Oh, we got a turkey hunt. We got a turkey hunt together. I'm like,
It ain't that easy.
No, like, and that's our busy time back to work and everything. And then, like, my daughter was softball and all that. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
It's a delicate balance, just
keeping
the family happy, doing the right thing by your family, and doing what you love, and also being a honorable employee.
Yeah. Dude, thank you so much for everything you brought. That is
no problem.
Wicked.
No problem.
And we'll help you bring all.
You guys just keep the train rolling here at Nomadic Addicts. I really think what you guys are doing is cool, and I follow along, gives me something to look forward to listen to, and I've learned a lot just listening to all the different people from all over the country come on and hunt. You got to take, if there's one thing you can learn from anything hunt related, is you got to take something from everything. Take something from every hunt or every podcast or
whatever.
Just try to keep evolving, because the minute you think you got it figured out, you don't.
Absolutely.
As we all know.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate the shit out of it.
No, thank you guys. And best of luck this spring, and be safe out there and kill some turkeys.
Hell yeah.